Hi, I'm Gareth Davis, and this is my MASH 50cc, probably out of camera at the moment. Today we've got to do the wiring on the stator, fit the ECU back in. The wiring on the stator came with a new plug for one side. The bike side had a pin missing from the AC, so I'm just going to have to use a standard electrical auto fitting, heat shrink around it, and it should be fine. Fit the ECU, fit the fuel tank, fit the battery, make sure the indicators are the right way around, and put the seat on. And then we should be ready for another shakedown if it works and all the parts are fully functional, because that is a problem sometimes. Anyway, let's get on with it. Have you got anything to say, Elvis? Right, excuse me. So, what else have we got? That goes that way. We have the agree. We have the yellow. And the blue. And the pink. Right, that can go together for now until we get a new plug set and pin set. So yellow pushed out on that side, so we'll just try to get that to push back on. Oh, and the pink. I really don't like things like this because I'll end up, oh, there we are, that's started to go. It's all about getting the male and the female to go together. What's the best way of getting that pink to, there we are. Well, I'm pushed out on that side, that's fine. So now we've got to take this AC wire, connect it to this one. I think this 2-pin plug will be the fuel tank. It's the only thing I can think of. So I'll have to see if that matches up as well. But as you see, I haven't put in the stator into the plug because there's no male one there. So we'll just run an extension and a heat shrink question is, have we got the right odds and sods in my old electrical connector boxes? Well, there's a nice high ampage male spade, so that's a good start. That can go into there. The other one, high amps. And then we've got to have a connector. So we've got some red ones there. What's in here? Got the little low amp ones on the red, which isn't much good. I've got a blue and another blue, uncrimped, one without a housing. I wonder if we've got another housing. We have got other housings. We'll pull one off one of these. With a bit of luck, I usually can get them to come off. Wonder if they're slipping around in my hand or... Well, there's another blue. There we are. Oh, that one's damaged. Wonder if the coating will come off. Let's see if we can get the internal bit to fold away from the plastic so we can pop it on. So I had a screwdriver. I was pushing that plug in. Where did I put that little screwdriver? Big screwdriver, big screwdriver. There it is. Hide it under there. Now, the trick is for me not to damage the outside, but get the insert out that broke off. Moved a tiny bit. Not quite enough to get anything on there. Wondering if well, that nearly went. Can't be much of it. There we are. We got a new sleeve. Push that on there. Now I'm using auto electric connectors because I don't want it to be permanent. So let's get this stripped back and get a connector on. Oh, that was quite... Oh. she's quite a good insulation. Now this is my AC repair. I'm twisting it round, fold it over, stick it in, see the copper come out the top, and now I can that shielding is trying to move, so I'll just try and I'm using this nail puller. I don't want to spend ages looking for the tool. There, that's given us a plug, so we can make a nice extension there. So I need a bit of wire. So that'll come down to there, which is plenty long enough, okay. A bit of off-cut wire I had. I think originally it was some speaker wire or something. That seemed to be the cheapest way to buy wire at the time. I'm using this wire because it's got a bit more core than the standard Chinese wiring. There, that's in, so I can see the tip of the wire. What do I do with the nail? That's pulling the connection apart, so that's good enough. Now we need another one. So I've explained previously that the AC should be running on solid core. Unfortunately, this solid core is supposed to be also non-moving. So you find it solid in the wall, you know, on your house. There we are. So bring that in there. Plug that in there. And we've got the extension we need. Right, a bit of heat shrink now. Needs to be big enough to go over the spades. Seem to be running out the black now, so I might have to just go for some red. I'll try this one first. See if it fits over. I need a slightly bigger one. Oh, we forgot to So leave them on. I bet that one would take a smaller heat shrink actually. The CD heat shrink is brilliant because it's got an adhesive, so you heat it up and it's like self-sealing. Which is really nice, unless you're trying to get the heat shrink off afterwards, which then you have to basically cut it all the way because it's not going to come off unless you make it. That's the plug connected. I didn't do a dual wire because it's not the correct plug yet. So that's the wiring connected up for the AC from the stator. ECU next. Oh, right. So ECU fasten 3 nuts, bottom of the battery tray, and these cables come around like that. Just looking where these plugs are going. The plug I need is here. Just looking, it seems to be attached to the loom there. Feeding it down underneath the kickstand wire. seems to be hooked over the main loom. Oh, it's part of the clip. I'll just untangle that. Gain maximum length. Now the question is, will that go down far enough this side so I don't have to mess around trying to pull it up the back of the airbox where the inner mud guard is. And there. There. A bit there. That in there. There we are. And we just got to locate it on its nuts. And there's plenty of spare wire, that's good. That's upside down. Would have handled it, yeah, just. Right, I'll get my hand out. Or am I going to be stuck? Yeah, it came out. There's the 3 nuts. EP10 will, where's that hiding now with all these piled up on top? How does this always happen? Look, ECU is plugged in. Slide this plug up. There we go. That's that out of the way. Followed by its OBD counterpart. Well, not OBD, but single can. This needs fastening up. I've made that a bit long, haven't I? I could have probably met without it. Never mind. Let's see if we can get a good round. Now we don't want to coil the wire because that generates heat. So I'll just space it out under this chair, under the seat. That up there, that all up there. That'll have to go towards the fuel tank surely. If it is, I can't see anything else that will plug into the fuel tank. I'm not speaking very loudly, sorry. I was just saying, I don't seem to be able to find anything else that would plug into the fuel tank. Alright, let's see if we can get this on its mount. plug. Rectifier solid, that's connected. Let's go into the plug. The starter solenoid's plugged in, relay's plugged in, fuse in the power, plug to the foot brake. That's all tucked up. Better put the locator tab on this. That's held up secure. There we are. And we're pretty much sorted. We've got to connect the battery. What else is there? That's done, that's on. They're all on. Fuel tank, battery. And I think we can test things then. Wire away from the rectifier in case that gets hot, because it's got a heat sink on it. Right, I'll have to go and get the fuel tank now. I got my fuel tank, but what I thought I'd do is glue my tank stops on so I don't lose them every time I take the tank off. So I'm just using some super steel, which is like JB Wells or chemical metal or whatever you. Let's mix it together. Hopefully I've got enough here. Right, let's see if I can. I'm just wondering what the easiest way to try and get it in the actual hole. I felt like it went on with some suction that time. There we are. It's nicely placed. Need the tool out the way. Oh, we better move the camera angle, or you'll be just listening to the commentary. So luckily the 2-pin plug on the tank is a fairly long cable, and it will reach that one that that's going to go a fair bit further forward because the holes aren't lining up. That is roughly where it's supposed to be. Just trying to make sure nothing's getting caught. There we are. Couple of rubbers, washers, bolts. I better check the plug that needs to come back to this. Because I don't want that. Oh, that is that plug. Where is it gone? Right, it was near there. Where does it go? Oh, that's that one. There it is. I found it. That's that one put back. There we are. Let's get this all lined up. Every time I've taken that fuel tank off, them rubber stoppers have fell off and I've lost them, and I'm like, well, that's annoying. So, fuel pipe. I've just got to bring that across there. Now, was there a clip that I moved? Apparently there is. I just slid down the pipe. Clip on. Should feel good. I'm just gonna upgrade that. See if something like this will fit. Where's my my lighter on me? Make that stick on. Let me see if it fits good. Oh, that's lovely. So, apart from cable tying the wires, just got to fit the battery and get the ignition key. Sorry about the interval. Yeah, that's the right one. See if I can get that to pop out, which is a ground down nut. But what I've been looking at is the capacitor discharge, the CDI. The stator wire was on the bike side rather than the front corner, which is different to how it was when I bought the bike. So I've wired it to the diagram online for a GY6, which I don't know if is a good idea because I don't know what a GY6 is. But I'm sure I'll find out one way or another. But everything else is in position for a GY6 wiring. So Let's hope it doesn't all melt on first startup. Right, as you see, I'm just connecting the battery. A couple of positives, one for the hand warmer and grips, the other for the normal cover. I've just got to locate the negative now. Which must be somewhere. That's interesting. Well, I found a fault there straight away. Unless I was pulling on a wire. Oh no, it splits there, that's right. I was pulling on the hand warmer cable and it was moving the cable going down to the engine. Oh, that's a bit strange. I've seems got a positive going to positive going straight to the engine negative, which is a really silly idea because it created dead short. Either destroy my battery or melt the wire or even blow the fuse. So at the moment I'm just looking for my negative side of the circuit, which I've just found. That's positive. I don't think there's any other negatives lying around. So, rule of thumb. Oh, I see a problem straight away. Where I soldered the positive for the wheel speed sensor permanent power, because it wasn't coming from the gauge, has come off the tab. So I'm going to have to heat that up and solder that back on before connecting the negative on the battery. So we'll get all that in place before we heat the soldering iron up. That'll go on top. Tighten that up. There Now the problem with having the nut in place, I haven't really got an access place to solder it. So let's have a look in here, see if we've got any clips. This yellow might work, depends on the hole size. Now when I was doing the spotlights on the MGTF, I did buy a load of large enough to fit ones. Can't see anything big enough. I wonder if one of these forks will fit. Not quite. Let's have a look in this one. I think these are too small as well. Oh, beauty. Now if I can find a sheath to cover it, I'll be alright. That's a bit big, must be a blue. Where's let's see if we can get one to come off. I wonder if leverage will work. Wonder, where's that little screwdriver? See if I can. That's been quite difficult to push down. Oh, there we are. Joanne, don't get the crimped on that. And that'll save my soldering issue. Right. Let's get all these put into place. Screwdriver. There we are. So let's see if my bike melts by turning that round for a GY6 wiring. That's tight. Right. Should be able to see. Ignition. We've got one on the CDI box, everything's lit up normal, tail lights here. Let's try some indicators. That's right, and the other side, that's right. What about brake pedal? Yeah, that works. I think we're good. Right, let's cover everything up. Everything's mounted correctly. Alright, so see if we got any fuel leaks or anything. Oh, we haven't put any oil in the engine. That was close. It's a timing cover. Oil fills this side. Oh, that's going to be awkward, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, it's quite tight actually. Oh, there we are. I saw some of these you can buy and they've got a dipstick on. Oh, that's pretty cool. Now I've got to find a way of getting the oil back into the engine. So here's the oil. That was about 10 miles on. That's why I put it into the clean container. 4-stroke lawnmower oil. Let's see if we can get it to pour into the engine. Huh? I've had a bit of a mishap there. Right, like there, so we don't get too much dirt. It's quite difficult. When the engine's black and the oil's black. You know what? Even in 10 miles, there is some metal that was in the oil. I don't know if you can see it, but I was looking at that there and I could see it, but probably because it moved. I'll try and do it. But I saw a load of sparkly bits, which may be in that gear bearing that was grinding, and hence why I wanted the running mode from standard position, only 6,000 RPM, so proper restricted, so it could wash out all the bearings and stuff and run in like a new engine. Just trying to clean the oil off the top of the casing. There we are. Put that back there. Put the top on. Right, let's try this again. Fuel. There's my fuel. Kill switch. Choke. Ignition. Says it's in neutral. one thing I'm forgetting is my kickstand. I fixed the sensor, didn't I? That should be sensible. Right. Right, so I am going with the non-GY6. Do I feel any heat in any wires or anything? If I can pull it out. Why has it stopped? Okay, well that's a problem. Basically my kill switch is acting like a headlight switch. Return to that way. Take this off in case there's any issues. if rotating that one will be the right solution, or check the spark. We'll go for the spark. See if he's got a spark or not. The fuel pipe has been off, so might not have fuel just yet. But it's always good to see if we've got the old spark. There's no spark. Well, that's why she won't start. Now, I remember on the other plug layout, the two greens were on the side. Well, that doesn't work. Pins facing the same direction. You know what? We could just plug that one in. Oh, there is a spark. Alright. Why am I not getting much of a spark? Oh, yeah, I wonder if the spark's removed by the foot stand. Oh, there we are. Lovely spark. Right, let's pop the spark plug in the hole. There it is. Plug back on the plug. There we are. Fuel up burn. And move. Ignition on. Remember, she stalled when I was trying to adjust the carburetor. Turn the big screw quarter turn right. Where's the little one? I'll do the same with that one. Little screw. That's all the way in by that side. Wow. It's just quite stiff. So I'll turn that quarter turn to the right as well. Half turn to the right. Same as a little screw. Right. Kickstands up, yeah. Right, I'll turn them back. That doesn't seem to make any difference on that one. Come on, let's get That's the trouble with it stalling when you're adjusting the car. I don't know the position. I got fuel in there. Basically what I think has happened, because there's been air in the system, having trouble let's try the old go-to. All the way in. Well, that was quite a long way out there. Half, one and a half, two and a half. Right, what I'm going to do, instead of take the plug out and checking the sparks still there, in case any of the new electrics have died, or I'm just going to use this plug and put the HT cable with a resistive cap onto this plug and see if that does anything. Either I'm not getting spark, right, now that's interesting. Now, is it that plug, or something failed straight away. So let's get the proper plug out. Kickstand down. Okay, we've got no spark. That's quite interesting. Wonder why we got no spark. So I plugged in the original CDI. That gives a spark. And then it stopped. Oh, hot plugs, alright. What about up here? I don't know if you can actually. Don't seem to be able to feel the coil. That seems well tucked up out of the way. Questions I'm going to have a think about this stuff. She was sparking, she was firing. Obviously didn't have fuel properly, so didn't fire straight away. She's turning over the starter. So that's a starter solenoid, alright. Difference, we've got a AC wire into the CDI because we didn't have anything from one of the missing plugs on the stator. So the solenoid is quite warm, rectifier is cold. Starter needs to cool down regardless. That's nice and warm along with the solenoid, so we'll let them cool. I suppose my first port of thought is the coil. There's the old one. maybe it wasn't earthing properly because all the rusty screw and rusty surface there. Might be worth trying it again in case that coil fails straight away, as it did run with this, but apparently the secondary coil didn't test, so maybe not. Only testing will find out. But we've got to have spark regardless. And if we get spark with this old box, maybe I can work out the GY6 box. Or maybe not. Maybe it's really particular to have a certain CDI. I don't know. But we'll work these out next time. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I've got to find where my spark's gone. And as soon as I know I'll make any progress, I'll get back on video and let you know, instead of painstakingly laughing at me. I'm proper wondering which it is. Right, thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I'll get this uploaded to you straight away. Oh. That was proper funny. I'm going to make a short video of you just going rum, rum, rum.